Assalamualaikum and hi to everybody who was watching this video. Today, me, Muhammad Rami Effendi bin Yusri Effendi.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Abid bin Khairi.
Hello, I'm Nur Afika binti Muhammad Arif.
Hi everyone, I'm Hazika.
Hi, I'm Nur Fatiha.
We are going to talk about the creation of agency by ratification. The prerequisite of the creation of agency by ratification are: an agent who has duly appointed has exceeded his authority, or a person. Second, a person who has no authority to act for the principal has acted as if he has the authority. There are two sections which explains about the prerequisite of the creation of agency by ratification. The first is section 149 of the Contract Act 1950, where acts are done by one person on behalf of another but without his knowledge or authority. He may elect to ratify or to disown the acts. If he ratifies them, the same effect will follow as if they had been performed by his authority. Second is section 150 of the Contract Act 1950. When the principal accepts and confirms such a contract, the acceptance is called ratification. Ratification may be expressed or implied. The effects are: a principal has an option to reject the contract since he has not authorized it, and the agent will be personally liable to the third party, or accept the contract so made means ratification of contract, accept or confirm the contract. The contract is binding on the principal as if the agent had been properly authorized beforehand, and ratification has a retrospective effect. The case which explains the topic that I have taught is Bolton and Partners Limited versus Lambert, 1889. Ratification has a retrospective effect, means it dates back to the time when the original contract was made by the agent and not from the date of the principal's ratification. The example is given in this situation, where there are two people, Ali and Ahmad, where Ali is a principal and Ahmad is an agent. Ali asked Ahmad to buy a car for his company for 500,000 ringgit. But Ahmad bought the car for 700,000 ringgit. Ali has two options whether to accept the offer or reject the offer. If Ali accepts the contract is called ratification. If Ali rejects the contract, Ahmad is liable to third party.
Next, conditions under which ratification can be made.
There are 9 conditions in total that can make a valid ratification. The first one, the act or contract must be unauthorized. This implies to the agent that has exceeded his authority. For the second condition, the unauthorized contract must be one recognized by law. This means the contract is not illegal. As for the third condition, the agent must, at the time of contract, expressly act as an agent for the principal. This can be referred to the case of Kelly Medstead & Co. versus Duran 1901. In this case, Kelly, the principal, asked his agent Robert to buy wheat at a certain price. However, Robert exceeded his authority by buying the wheat at a higher price than authorized. He intended the wheat for Kelly, but bought it under his name. Kelly has agreed to take the wheat, however, he failed the delivery. So, in the court, it was held that Kelly is not liable to Duran, which is the third party, as Kelly did not ratify the contract because Robert at the time does not profess that he is an agent for Kelly.
For the next condition, the agent must have a principal who is in actual existence or capable of being ascertained when the contract is made. In the case of Kellner versus Baxter 1866, it was held that a contract to buy a hotel made by an agent on behalf of a company which was about to be formed could not be ratified by that company. This is because the company did not exist at that time. Therefore, the agent was held liable for the contract unless the third party agreed to release him. In Section 65 of Company Act 2016, a contract entered by a company or its agent prior to formation may be ratified by the company after its formation. In the case of Cosmic Insurance Corporation Ltd versus Ku Chang Poh 1981, there were two issues raised before the court: whether a letter signed by 12 promoters of the appellant company, including the respondent, constituted a pre-incorporation contract between the respondent and the other 11 promoters as agents for the appellant company, which was subsequently incorporated. The respondent was appointed as the managing director for life by this letter. If the letter constituted a pre-incorporation contract, did the appellant company ratify the contract? It was held that the letter came within the Section 65 of Company Act 2016, and thus the pro-incorporation contract was subsequently ratified by the appellant company. The company was bound by the contract of which they had ratified. For the next condition, the principal must have a contractual capacity at the time of the contract is made and at the time of ratification.
The principal must, most of the time at ratification, have full knowledge of all material facts unless it can be shown that he intends to ratify the contract whatever the facts may be and assume responsibility for them. Let's move on to the next condition. The principal must ratify the whole act or contract, and partial ratification is not allowed. At the time of ratification, as stated in Section 152 of the Contract Act 1950, the principal must be acknowledged of all the material facts related to the contract unless it is shown that he intends to ratify without taking any facts into consideration.
I'm going to talk about the 8th and the 9th condition under ratification. The 8th condition under ratification is ratification must be made within a reasonable time. If the ratification is to bind, it must be made within reasonable time after acceptance by an authorized person. Subsequently, the principal must ratify in time for it to be valid and should not have more than a reasonable time in which to ratify. A reasonable time will never happen continued after the time the contract was commenced. As we can tell from the case Metropolitan Asylum Board and Kingham and Sons, 1890. The agent contract to buy eggs without the authority. The principal tried to ratify the contract 1 week after it was made. The court held that ratification was too late. The last condition under ratification is the ratification must not injure or affect the interest of a third party. It must not subject the third party to damage or terminate his right or interest.